I imagine you have been to school at least a day in your life, and if you haven't, please still stay. The thing with education systems is that there are so many things that the school system teaches us, but there are also so many different things that we are not taught. And these are very essential skills that we need to be taught that we are not taught in school, and I'm going to be sharing that with you very soon. Whatever I say here, I believe can be related, or it would be relatable in terms of which education system you have gone to. At least one of them you'd find relatable. I am a big promoter of education, so whatever I'm saying here, it's not as if I'm looking down on education in itself. I talk a lot about formal and informal education because I believe that education propels you in a way that you would not get to if you were not educated at all. So I want to get that out of the way, but I also want to talk about ways in which the school system has failed us, or ways in which we could have been better if we were taught some of the things that the school system doesn't teach us, or most education systems do not teach us. Some of these things, I dare say, are things that even some Western countries do not prioritize, but I think are important to highlight. If you're new here, hi, I'm Z, and on this channel, I share a lot of useful information on self-improvement and education. So if you're new, you're welcome to the family. Now, let's have a conversation about the real purpose of education, because I believe strongly that education is not just something that you write exams and pass and say, oh, I got a certificate, but it's something that we should be able to give you some essential skills. Now, a lot of us go to school because we want to come out of school and become someone, right? Or become a big person, or become financially free. But there are certain limitations that really inhibit our ability to even be all of these things. And these are things that we are not taught in school. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things I wish school had taught me, which I think you can relate to. I understand that some people may say, oh, you've studied an MBA, or you've studied economics, or you've studied business, but it's not the same as the basic information that we need to practically take care of our finances. Financial literacy is one. The second thing I think is really important, which might be arguable, is what's I would call etiquette. I think when it comes to etiquette, when it comes to emotional intelligence, not all schools teach that. And I think it's important that we are taught. You might say that emotional intelligence is not taught. I think that the foundation or the building blocks of emotional intelligence can be learned. So that's another thing. The third thing that I think schools should teach, which they're not teaching, is how to really communicate. Now, as someone who studied communication for both undergrad and postgrad, I'm not talking about the technical part of communications or the theoretical parts of communication. I'm talking about communicating in a way that people would truly understand you, communicating in a way that would enable you to be able to pitch an idea, to be able to enable you be able to really listen with intent, and just be a good communicator. The other thing I'd say that schools do not teach us, which can be a bit controversial to some people, which I really, in my opinion, truly think is just basic common sense, is teaching us the things that have got to do with inequality, that's got to do with the fact that the world truly is not equal. So when it comes to issues of gender, comes to issues of race, issues of things like even slavery, like history, these things can be more created in a way that, or taught in a way that reflect the truth, one, and secondly are age appropriate. The other thing I think schools should be teaching that they're not teaching, or not schools are teaching, it's confidence. It's one thing just growing and wanting to develop that yourself. It's another thing just not being confident, and not being able to show up with confidence. And I dare say that some education system, not the system in itself, but I feel like some, well, it's probably the system, I feel like some settings or do not help students have confidence. So for example, in Ghana, there was a time, I don't know if it's still the case, but I don't think so, where like you were literally beaten if you did something wrong, like you're beaten. You were lashed in the morning. There's this thing called mental. The teacher asks you some random questions. If you're unable to answer, they're like, you lashed. It just disorients you. And I think that all of these things make students lose confidence, make students timid. They can't really speak their minds, or they can't really communicate how they feel about stuff. And it's one of the things that I wish schools had really taught students, like taught us, like how to be more confident. And the final thing is that we would not all end up being lawyers, doctors, teachers, engineers, and all of those traditional occupations or careers. I think it would have been really good, or it's really important that students are intentionally taught that there's a big world out there, and there's so much that you can be doing, and you don't have to fit into these traditional jobs. And just really prepare a lot of people, or a lot of students, for the outside world. So these are some of the things that I think the schools are not teaching. Maybe some of them, depending on your country, maybe they're doing it, maybe they're not doing it, maybe they're doing some and not doing others. But this is my little concern and my very small rant about the things that I wish schools had taught us that they're not doing, or they did not do back then. I really hope this has been useful. Let me know, please, if you've watched this far, let me know in the comments, what's the one thing you wish school had taught you? It's probably something I've mentioned already or not. I would really like to know, what's the one thing that you wish school had taught you? Let me know in the comments section. If you're interested in joining the 7-day self-improvement challenge, check out the description of this video. I have a link there which will take you to joining the challenge. You'd be able to enter your details and get access to the workbook and help yourself through the self-improvement workbook. Thank you for joining. Please like this video, and when you do, YouTube would recommend it to a lot more people. And if you haven't joined the family yet, subscribe, because I'll be sharing with you a lot of information on education and self-improvement. I wish you the best. Lots of love. Bye. Whatever it is, the bad news is nobody's coming to save you. But the good news is you can reparent yourself and inspire yourself and motivate yourself and take action to become the best version of yourself. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about the ways in which you can reparent yourself in order to become your best self and achieve the things you really and truly want to achieve. The truth is, not all of us were fortunate enough to have tender love and care from our parents, or to have our parents coax us into doing certain things, or even just be there to guide us. Whether you had parents who were there with you and for you throughout the whole period, or unfortunately did not have your parents there for you, this video is for you. Because no matter what it is, as an adult, you do not have your parents there with you all the time to guide you.